What can I do to make the most of this situation? Get off my butt, go and do something about it, not just watch another YouTube video and hope for the best. Quite the dramatic title, yes, I know, but they're the times we're living in at the moment. Let's discuss it, let's get into it. Thanks again for joining me. It's Jason Pizzino on my channel here on YouTube. If you are new, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe and the bell notification. Give the video a like, and I'm sure I'll drop a joke in there somewhere about liking the video. So 50 to 60% off on the markets. That's the possibility that we're looking at. 100 years ago, we saw the Spanish flu sweep the world. Now we're seeing COVID-19 do the same. From what I've read, there's two ways that we can get rid of this COVID, or at least the way the governments are working out. One is to lock everyone out, lock everyone down. We can't do anything for who knows how long. Apparently 3 months, did it in China, but could be longer in other places. And with that lockdown, there will be a lot of people who have immunity to it, so the spread of the virus won't go haywire. And two, we get a vaccine for it, but that seems like it's a long way off. And then vaccines also bring on their own set of problems. So it doesn't look like we're going to go down the second path with how fast it's spreading. So all governments can do for now is slow the spread. And by slowing the spread, they slow the economy and less money goes out everywhere. And that, unfortunately, brings on a recession, or at least a downturn that everyone can predict. So although we've got a black swan event, which means something that came out of nowhere, which people didn't think could happen, we kind of know what the outcome will be. So I think that's kind of a positive in the sense of an economic market, or at least understanding where our investment should go. If we can understand that things are going to get worse, then people are going to act on that. And generally, we overreact in both directions. So we see a tanking of the market, and then we'll see a spike at some point later down the track. If we don't get the spike, at least we know the tank was there, but we know it's going to come back. And I'll explain in a moment. So the reason behind the 50 to 60% fall that I've mentioned earlier, and as you can see in the title, is from some work from a guy called Hussman. I'll show the chart up here. Essentially, we're just looking at previous cycles and the mid-cycle slowdowns as well, especially when we see panics like this. And in the past, we've seen 50 to 60%. And we're just looking at that and projecting it forward, saying that this could be another potential climactic fall, like those ones we've seen in the past, because of the reasons surrounding this current panic. Now we've seen 30+% really quickly. Maybe we'll see a bounce from here, maybe we won't. But at the end of the day, we're in the mid-cycle slowdown. So looking further ahead, late 2020s, 27, 28, I'm thinking we're going to be pretty well off to that period there, especially from the research that I've been doing on the cycles. And if you're new to the cycles, property cycles, stock market cycles, go back and check out my videos. I'll leave links to them throughout the video up here and potentially in the description as well. But definitely check those out after this video. They basically explain how these cycles all come together and why we're expecting this to be a mid-cycle slowdown. Now, I know it sounds like technical jargon. Essentially, we have a 19-year period of going up. That's on average, sometimes 17 years, sometimes 23 years, but on average, the amount of times that has happened is around 18.5 years. Right now, we're in the middle of one. We're at the point where we've gone up for nearly 10 years, should see a year or two down, and then we take off again. That's why we've got a time frame up until the end of the 2020s, sort of mid to late 2020s, where we'll see a peak in the second half of the cycle. That's super exciting, especially when we've got potentially a 50 to 60% discount. We can already see around 35% discount on the markets overall in the US. In Australia, markets are shot. I don't know about Australia, definitely for the US. Australia might take a little bit more time to work itself out. The gains may be smaller, but overall, I think the US has got a lot of potential if you pick the right stocks. Now, that's a story for another time, and of course, I'm not a financial advisor, so no one on the internet can actually advise you unless they are a financial advisor of which stocks to pick. So we've got a potential 50 to 60% fall, currently at 35%. We're in the mid-cycle slowdown. I say we've got several more years ahead of us of uptrend after this period wears out. What can we do with all of this? That's what I always want to know when I'm watching these financial videos. What can I do to make the most of this situation? Get off my butt, go and do something about it, not just watch another YouTube video and hope for the best. Turning to an article from the Financial Review. Yes, it's an Australian newspaper, but let's use this because basically most of the governments will do a similar thing. printing money. We can all agree on that that's going to keep happening. And the way they're looking at this is that it's a war. So let's look at the article. And the article reads, since the coronavirus started spreading in January, Pendle's head of Bond, Income and Defense Strategy, Vimal Gore, says he has had the 2 best months performance in his 26-year career. Make no mistake, this is a war, Gore says. The world is at war with the virus, and my job is to protect our clients' funds from these kinds of moves. The government has to make a decision to either sacrifice economic growth or protect your population, he says. I think the government has to shut down all major events. They have no choice. The primary job of government is to protect its people in a war. I think virtually all countries will go into lockdown, Australia included, and this will result in global recession, which will force governments into massive fiscal responses. I'm talking unimaginable amounts, maybe 20% of GDP or more. That's pretty crazy if you can think about how much money these governments may pump into the economy. I think this guy's probably on the money there as well, considering what we've seen in the last 10 years to get us out of a GFC. Why can't they do it again? Machines are still going, paper's still there. They're going to keep doing it until it actually absolutely collapses. They're going to keep doing it because it's a war. It's a war on the economy, it's a war on the virus, it's a war on everything. Everything's always a war. I think we will most likely see one of the biggest government bailouts in history. They don't even have a rule book anymore. It's just print the damn money. Once we get over this period, those machines are going to be hot and we are going to be pumping a ton of money back into the economy to get this thing afloat again. The second half of the cycle is known as the winner's curse. The way I see it psychologically playing out is we've had 10 fantastic years. People on the other side have been calling for a government meltdown, a financial meltdown. They want to replace the system with something else that's not even invented now. So this is kind of like the perfect storm for them to believe that this is the end. And when we get out of the end, we're going to see another several years of absolutely amazing growth. And then that becomes the winner's curse because people think it's just going to be good times forever because we were able to get over that last war. We won the battle. We're champions and we're going to go to the moon with this next boom. That's the winner's curse. From that point on, I think that is going to be the downfall, at least at the peak. Once everyone's in, when they're allowing bankrupts to get back in at high leverage and zero deposit down loans and all the money that everyone has is all back into the markets, that's a peak. It's going to go crazy. If you don't remember 2006-07, then I suggest going and have a look at some history, reading some newspaper articles. It was good news every day. Markets were up, property markets were up, everyone was making money all the time. And that's pretty much the end. Who else is there to make money? No one. Everyone's making money and there's no one left. It's a Ponzi scheme. It crashes. That's enough from me. Thanks again for joining me on this video. If you liked it, be sure to leave a like down below. You know it helps out the video and my channel, of course. Really appreciate it. I'll see you on Facebook. If you want to know more about finances, you can go follow me over there and also join my group. The link is down below. Optimize your life. Go check me out over there. And of course, I have Instagram where I just post my daily stuff. Links down below. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you at the next video. Who knows, we may be stuck at home for the next few weeks. We haven't got that yet here in Australia, or at least the Gold Coast where I am. So when that time comes, maybe I'll pump out a few more videos. So be sure to subscribe and I'll see you guys in the next video. If you've got any questions, leave them down below. See you at the next one. Remember, until next time, have more fun to get more done.